not concluded. It was inconclusive. Sittings. Chairman, with these, for everybody to know me. Thank you, Chairman.
Very well, Honorable Dr. Amoah. Colleagues, that's our MP and a member of this committee. Now the floor is open. Yes. Yes, Honorable Kobogu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Nominee, congratulations.
Thank you, Chairman.
The government rolled out a program called 1D1F to cut down on imports and increase our exports. Can you share with the committee the impact of this program on the Ghanaian economy?
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I think
Honorable Stephen Amoah, as you may recall, Chairman expects you to be very brief.
Chairman, thank you very much. Honorable Chairman, I think the issue with 1D1F, in summary, has become a household name because of its tremendous impact on our socio-economic framework as a country. The impact can be seen in the area of employment. Tens of thousands of young people, including women, have been employed as a result of the 1D1F. Apart from that, we have about 126 companies in operations. What I mean is that completed and they are working. We can talk of, sorry, I'm sorry, sir. We can talk of Casapreco. Mr. Chairman, when I talk of Casapreco, sometimes people think it was an existing company. But then what I mean is that companies do embark on diversification, creating new businesses, and a lot more. Ekunfi, we know what they are doing today. We have a lot of them, Sunda, different places. In almost all the regions, we have 1D1F that has employed a lot of people. Some are even doing exportation. That means it has reduced our import-driven economy, which has been one of the major challenges confronting us. So, what that I can say is that in the area of employment and in the area of reducing our import-driven economy and addition in terms of value and the proportion to our GDP. That's all that I can say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Nominee, what is the current state of Commander Sugar Factory, and what do you think must be done to operationalize it as part of the process to cut down on our imports?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What I know so far about the factory honorable member is talking about is that I think just about a few months back, I'm talking about 2022, major refurbishment has been done there. It has been retooled, and even they've run a test. And if you consider the value chain of every company, if all these things are done, then we are good to go. My understanding is that they are working very fast, making sure that they get the needed raw material to work within the first segment of the value chain, which is the outbound. So I think it is really, really doing well, to the point of even trying to have seedlings, the hybrid type that will yield a lot of sugarcane to meet the capacity requirement of the machine. So I think we are on course so far as the factory is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Then my last question, Honorable Nominee, reading your CV, you indicate that you did a PhD at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. From 2015 to 2020, it took you 5 years. What exactly did you research into, and how relevant it is?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the first place, my PhD options were basically in finance, macroeconomics, and mathematics under actuarial science. And what I sought to do country, which has gone through all regimes. Mr. Chairman, I realize that Ghana is the only country I know. I'm using myself, I, as a first person singular. I know that governments, not only one government, but all governments, borrow from investors on our domestic market at a higher rate than the private sector, which is an anomalous fundamentally. And technically, it's one of the major causes of high cost of doing business, unemployment, and other things. Time may not allow me. So I decided to test the models that we use to actually measure these pricing of these assets. 1965 was by Sharp, and then in the 70s by a gentleman that I've forgotten the name anyways in the work, and then Hanan and Lian did the next one, and Derby did 2015. But they all were not applicable on our market. So I had to do an optimal one, which was marked by professors from Canada, Pakistan, and Ghana. So what I sought to do is to put a new financial economic model that will curb this situation. In fact, that's the summary of what I did. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So you have been awarded your PhD already. But
yes, sir.
When you did the model, what solution did you come out with?
Yeah, Chairman, I think, as I said, the solution was to curb the fundamental anomaly that we have in our system. Because, Chairman, you realize that if a government which is supposed to offer risk-free assets, when you say risk-free, is supposed to give less returns than private sector, which is risky, is offering a higher returns, it will be difficult for even the banks to give monies to individual investors and entrepreneurs. And if you check the records of the banks, some of them even give as high as 70%. They invest in government securities. Governments do not necessarily create value chains to employ people. So my model was meant to reverse this situation so that there will be availability of adequate funds to investors and entrepreneurs at a cheaper rate so that the industry can grow organically and employ a lot of people. So that was what my model was actually seeking to do. And it has been tested because mathematical models or financial economic models, they are like a car. Without testing it, you cannot say it works or not. It fits into any situation. And I pray that our country will use it to benefit us. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Who is the next? Nilante. Yes, Nilante.
Dr. Amoah. How much of the taxpayers' money has gone into one district, one factory as at now? And apart from the employment impact you mentioned, what other returns worthy enough to commit to be, let me say, measured with this of money that has sunk into one district, one factory?
Thank you very much, Chairman. If I can sit here and say I know the exact amount, then I'm lying. I'm afraid, sorry, I don't know the exact amount. But what I know is that in terms of value derived, we've done a lot. That policy has done a lot for us. We are all talking about import substitution. We are talking about unemployment. We are talking about the cost of doing businesses. You realize that a lot of companies, Mr. Chairman, there's a company called, I think, Akomufie, that deals toilet rolls from bamboo. And trust me, there was also another company that I've forgotten, but I can show you later on that was importing the same jumbo rolls from Nigeria. As I'm talking to you now, to reduce import-driven economy. Now, the other company has stopped importing from Nigeria and importing from this company I'm talking about. you realize that 1D1F, not just that, in terms of considering its integral component of our GDP, is done a lot. So, of course, we have put in with the expectation that our economic framework will be properly redefined. So, Mr. Chairman, that's what I can say about it. Thank you very much.
How many items on an ordinary market shelf will you say have been substituted with any product from 1D1F? How many?
I can't give you the number, but a lot. A lot. We all know a lot. I mentioned toiletry. I mentioned is it juice? I mentioned a lot of them. Even dog feeding or dog feet, and then there is a Keda ceramic cement. Mr. Chairman, they even import these tiles to Cameroon, and the Cameroonians are now falling in love with this product. They wonder, is it from Ghana? They are even stopping importing from the European countries now. So, sir, a lot of the products, a lot of them on the market today. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Amoah, let me take you to trade facilitation of your ministry, Ministry of Trade and Industry. It's trade facilitation. What are the benefits of trade facilitation, and how will you assist your minister to stimulate this activity of the ministry?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I think trade facilitation, if I heard you right, to the best of my understanding, actually deals with any measures or policies either in kind or cash, whether by training, orientation, resource provision, capital access, facilitating all those things to boost trading or trade, to ensure that as a country we can have sustainable economic growth, and also make sure that domestically issues with this import-driven economy will be reduced. So trade facilitation can be in kind and cash. Cash will mean that government can support architects in the field to access cheaper funds, such as what is happening 1D1F and other, distressed companies. If you look at the 10 points that the ministry came out to transform our industry, the first one is stimulus package for distressed companies that are via activities within the facilitation of trade ministry and then the trading activity. That's what I can say, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Nominee, I've heard you on several platforms argue that the economy of Ghana is suffering, also because of the Russian. Now, I want to ask a very simple question in respect of import substitution. If you look at the countries that Ghana generally import from and the quantum of, the quantum of import that we have. For example, Ghana imports refined petroleum to the tune of, that is only in 2021, to the tune of $669 million. When you talk about cars, we imported to the tune of $492 million. Rice was $391 million. Delivery trucks, $289 million. And if you look at the countries that we mostly make this, we mostly import from, we have China, we have Netherlands, we have United States, we have India, and we have United Arab Emirates. If you look at all these countries, none of them actually is Russia and Ukraine. To what extent Russia-Ukraine war affected, the economy of Ghana, and particularly with respect to trade?
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, I think just a couple of days ago, the IMF boss, her statement underpins the fact that all the statements I've been making, and my respectable honorable member is asking, I am in a way exonerated, because she actually have government or categories. First, preceding COVID and the war, what were the primary micro indicators? We're growing averagely 7% a year. Policy rate, which is the government interest rate, have been reduced from about 25.5 to about 12. Treasury bills had been reduced within the same period, dates, from almost about 25.2 to about 14%. You can count all these things. In fact, even interest payment, which is leading to most of our challenges, started increasing from 2012 to 2016. And between 2016 and 18, they started going up 2019, sorry. So everybody will attest to the fact that when these two global crises, talking about the Ukraine-Russia war and then the COVID, the global value chain got affected adversely. To the remarkable member of the globe within the domain of the global framework. Let's look at other developed economies. I'm not comparing them, but even the developed economies that we depend on. Mr. Chairman, UK's inflationary rate for the past 46 years is at its worst, and it's a fact. In fact, post-COVID inflation rate has been increased by almost 400%.
Honorable Nominee, so in other words, you just stand by your position.
Yes. It is a fact, crystal clear, that yes, Ghana is suffering. It's a fact. But the context in which it is suffering is as a result of the global crisis. And there's evidence to that effect. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, just a very quick follow-up on that. Because
I will count that as your question.
Oh, very well,
so
Mr.
if it's not important for you, change it.
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me ask the honourable nominee that your explanation is your explanation does not really answer the question I posed. The question is that to what extent has the Russian-Ukraine war directly affected our economy?
Thank you very much, and thank you for your clarity. Mr. Chairman, I think as a result of these two incidents, we realize that everybody can attest to the fact that we do import from Ukraine. understand, is it flour or bread and all those things?
Oh, if you can give the specifics, it will be very helpful.
Wheat, but for bread and stuff like that. And because of the war, the value chain or the supply chain got affected. Because of this crisis, private sector sacked over 40,000 people. And definitely, if private sector is sacking people, it affects trade or trading activities in Ghana. And I think it is quite clear that these facts have strong correlation between what is happening today on our market in terms of trading and then our economy and the war. I think they are positively correlated. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I will need the honourable nominee to submit to us the data or the document that says that the private sector sacked 40,000 workers. Because this is a matter of fact that he has said, and we need to substantiate it, because I don't know where it's coming from.
Oh, did you say you were quoting from any document? Did you say you were quoting from any particular document?
Chairman, what I meant was an estimated number that various stakeholder groups have earlier stated. Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman, can you confirm whether you said we import bread also from Ukraine? Wait. Oh, he's listening. Doc, did you say we import bread also from Ukraine?
Honorable members, order. Let him answer the question. Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, he's not done. Let him finish. He has one more opportunity.
Yes, I know, Mr. Chairman. It's also very important for.
No, after that, I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
after
leadership to also listen to his answers.
Yes.
Because you keep asking questions that he's already provided answers to.
I'll regulate that. Don't worry. Yes, please.
No, Mr. Chairman, he was supposed to provide some further information, or I can just go ahead. Our nominee has also touted unemployment. I think whether or how many municipalities within Greater Accra region that have benefited from 1D1F, and especially my constituency, Medina, whether the people of Medina have benefited from 1D1F in the last 6 years of the administration, and why East as well. And if confirmed, what you do about the fact that these constituencies have not benefited from 1D1F. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Chairman, thank you very much. If I may be allowed to state some of the companies in Greater Accra. Chairman, we have Neplas Company Limited, recycling of plastic waste, Katamanso, Pong, Kantamanso as a district. We have Pong Kantamanso, thank you, sir. We have Atlantic Life Sciences Limited, manufacturer of pharmaceutical products.
Hold on, what are you quoting from?
I'm quoting from a document, Source Trade.
So it is already on record.
Mr. Chairman, then it answered the question that my brother asked. Thank you very much.
Yes. It's already.
I want him to confirm what he will do about that. Deputy Minister is saying that 1D1F projects across board has contributed to reduce unemployment. I want to know exactly.
Honorable, 1DF1 project, the Minister has been to many occasions. There are private sector initiatives. Areas government may constituents of Medina will initiate the project.
Mr. Chairman, then I want the nominee to know that in Medina currently we have the Medina Job Center, which has initiated a number, which has, oh yes, but it's the community, Medina community. Would you consider partnering Medina Job Center if approved, you know, I mean, with the support of the 1D1F for some of the projects being undertaken by the Medina Job Center?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Yes, Alawuzi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, welcome to the Appointments Committee for the first time. I think you have been waiting for it for a very long time now. And I think that finally somebody says it's a wrong ministry. I don't know if we know.
We have all been lobbying for him, and we know that
this interjection. Yes. Where's the clerk? And they're all seated. Because we can. The chairman nominee is a former CEO of Maslock, and as Parliament before one. And I do know that one of the requirements is that they open bank accounts. They write their regulations and everything to the groups are usually issued in checks and paid into the accounts. Can the honourable nominee comment on this picture that I have shown to him in relation to my observation with regard to how Maslock has operated in the past?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to humbly let my honorable colleague understand the fact that I've critically examined what I have here, and truly it's my picture and it's Maslock. Secondly, I would like him to understand the fact that every organization has its cultural and policies in terms of practices. We have different types of loans, and they are within the legal confines or environment of Maslock. First, the one that actually fits this picture, Mr. Chairman, is the group 6. To be honest with you, this thing has been going on throughout every regime up to now. The fact is that the group times you do a market that you get a number beyond 1,000. So the banks take the money, they get a very big size. If they can access a big hole, which is 10 times we have here, they do the public one with the bankers there.
interject, but I think the honourable nominee didn't get the context. I am making the point that I have assisted groups in my constituency to meet and checks issued.
Creamy Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Everybody, let me see.
The Assemblies of God Ghana is about to take a turn like never before. Join us at the Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center on the 25th of February for the induction service of the newly elected General Superintendent, our very own Reverend Dr. Stephen Yenesom Wengam, and the outdooring of the newly elected Abu Baba. There is about to be a shift, growth, and transformation as they plan to reach, rebuild, restore, reform, reposition, and rebrand the Assemblies of God Ghana. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but there is safety in the multitude of counselors.
I mean, Maslow's account and other things go to all the institutions, finance ministry, whether we outlaid any funds to that effect. I think people were just doing propaganda at that time. But, honorable member, they never imported cars for us.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think he has answered the question. I did not say that they brought in cars. I asked if he has any knowledge of that company, and if that company at any point in time had a contract with Maslow to bring in vehicles. It's not about whether they brought in the vehicles or not. Was there
ever a contract? Was there ever a relationship like that? And what was the nature of the relationship?
Insufficient.
No, Mr. Chairman, it's not. He's answered that they didn't bring vehicles in. But did they have a contract
for them to bring the vehicles?
Chairman, as I said, we started that and abrogated that because Chairman, what I'm saying is that the fact is, this is about 6 years ago. That's why I'm being careful. What I can remember and what I'm saying, which is a fact, was that a transaction relationship or transactional relationship began. Whether we signed something or not, it ended in a way that we ended every relationship in writing, and they never imported any car to us or for us. I can say this as a matter.
What is the issue? Was that whatever you started, they did get to the stage where you signed the contract. If it did, yes. If it did not, no.
Man, I think my answer has been so clear. I'm saying that it's about 6 years now. There was initially at the embryonic stage, back and forth. But what I'm saying that upon advice, we ended every transaction. So even that thing, if he's saying was so, it was abrogated through the same medium. He wrote to us, we wrote to them, they wrote to us. So as I'm talking to you now, Maslock has no contract with that company, and the company did not import anything for us or to us. That's all.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if there was
Chairman, I don't think I've said there was no contract. The thing is that it's about 6 years ago. There were exchanges. That's why I'm choosing my words carefully. But I can emphatically say that everything was abrogated upon advice.
Please? Can you listen to me? And please, don't get worked up.
Okay.
We don't want you to drive.
So, I just want the record to reflect, yes, there was a contract, but when we were advised, we abrogated it. Is that the case?
Chairman, I'm not prolonging issues. I'm saying that the number of years, if I'm 100% sure, I won't lie. After all, there's nothing binding. And I'm saying that everything that we had upon advice, we abrogated. We ended, and they never imported any car. As I'm talking to you now, Maslock has no contract with them. That's my answer. And I think, to me, it's crystal clear enough.
Please, yes, ask your question. Well, there was a contract, there was no contract, you don't remember. The committee will look at that. The board of Maslock was not in place. But to my next question, because Chairman says I should move on. There is a case currently involving your predecessor in court. And I do not want to go into the details of that, process, because it can be considered prejudicial. But an aspect of, let me look at how the case against your predecessor came about. There was a foreign mass into institution between 2009 and 2016. This was awarded before a year. We're an associate, it's an audit firm. The forensic audit contract was awarded to this company. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Nominee, can you tell us the procurement law or the procurement process, yes, that was used to award this contract to carry out a forensic audit to Amoah and Co.
Mr. Chairman, my colleague is asking the nominee the procedure that was used in the appointment of an auditor to look into a matter to appoint or procure the services, whichever way you want, in a matter that is sitting before a court of competent jurisdiction. And you want an opinion from him. I believe it frowns upon the rules of the House in the area of how questions are asked, Mr. Speaker. That is my view.
To the best of my knowledge, the matter pending in court is a criminal investigation of somebody else. This is administrative. Did you procure the services? Let's put it this way. Did you, in your capacity as MD, procure the services of Amoah and Co. and Associates?
Chairman, yes, the institution procured the services of Amoah and Associates. I was the CEO, sir. Mr. Chairman,
Did you use the procurement law in the country?
Chairman, my challenge is that I'm sure we did. I want to get the documents on it and submit because it's taking.
I'm not that when you say that, we cannot proceed with the conclusion on your vetting until we have that. So if you answer the question, you move on.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'll check. I think so. Yes. I can't say. I think I did the right thing, Chairman. I did the right thing.
He has not said that.
All right. Oh, how. This is just... Honorable nominee, when you took over from Maslock, and all these questions are relevant because they will tell us what to expect if you are approved by this honorable House to go to your next post. When you took over Maslock, there was an impressive report of recovery of debts from about 60%. But by 2019, it came down again to below 50%. What happened?
Thank you, Chairman. What my honorable member of parliament is saying, colleague, is true. We had a pilot project and we were actually hitting around 90%, as he's saying. But by 2019, we realized that the entire economy and our market had been actually affected by the global crisis. Now, is it 20? Sorry, by 2019, by 2019, we had actually extended or expanded our outlays to the beneficiaries. When we were getting about 90%, it was just about Greater Accra and 2 areas in Eastern region. But by 2020, we had covered almost every district in Ghana. And definitely recovery, as we all know, became quite difficult to actually attain in terms of our goal. So what he's saying is very true. The cause of it was the complexity of the expansion in terms of the Chairman.
Very well, leadership.
Honorable Amoah. I know you like likening the state of our economy using some medical conditions. You have used sickle cell before, saying it's like a child with sickle cell. I know you apologize for that one when the Sickle Cell Society talked about it. You have likened Ghana's economy to like having an ulcer. May I ask you today, what do you feel Ghana's economy is in terms
I think we need to analyze this statement in the context that I meant. The context I meant was that chronically, our economy has been going through sinusoidal performances. And I'm sure my colleague, Dr. Ato Forsen, honorable member, understands what I'm talking about. We culturally operate a negative tax effective rate.
Please. Did you hear the question? What was the question?
The question he asked was, I used to I used to liken our economy to some sort of chronic diseases. And what is it today?
He said, give him an example of a disease the economy now will be like. So just give it. If you don't have anything.
No, he never said that.
That's what he said.
Mr. Chairman, but I think for answer to this, the context has to be explained. For now, I don't think, with the experience I have from that group, I can say
okay. So Dr. Amoah. Dr. Amoah, so you started by saying it's like a sinusoidal thing. That one, so should I ignore the sinusoidal one as well?
Yes, Chairman.
But I thought Honorable Sticker will be given the opportunity to explain to us the meaning of sinusoidal.
Mr. Chairman, should I go ahead? Or?
Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Amoah. And what is the average lending rate between banks today? I know you are a man of numbers. In any case, you did actuarial science, so I know you like figures today.
Please, I haven't checked. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amoah. I know. Please, when you last checked, what were these figures?
Mr. Chairman, I think just as within any physiological setup, I've forgotten. Forgive me.
Thank you, Dr. Amoah. I know you have blamed almost all the reasons for our economic problems on Russia, Ukraine. Let me find out from you. Do you eat gobe, like Gary and beans? Have you ever bought Gary and beans recently, or do you know anybody who told you how much it cost?
Mr. Chairman, yesterday I ate Gary, but without beans.
In the context of your explanation that almost all the economic difficulties explain why plantain items that we don't import from Ukraine. Can you explain why those prices are equally very expensive today?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I think I have to first correct this. I have never said that all our challenges are as a result of the two global incidents. I've never said that. But I have said that the acute nature of what is happening today used all the things my honorable member, respectable member is saying produced. However, if you analyze the value chain, they transport some of them to town. Some of them, they use fertilizer. I'm a farmer, so I know what I'm talking about. Some of them, they engage laborers who have also, by virtue of the fact that their purchasing power has been adversely affected, they have increased what they take daily. So definitely it will affect it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Amoah, you are on record to have said, yes, there's hardship in Ghana now, but it's better than when we took over from NDC. Can you explain how hardship under NDC is different from hardship under NPP today?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not saying I said or no, but I can't remember. Thank you, sir.
Bring this back to you. You said this when you were on a TV program, but if you say you don't remember saying this, I am sure when you finish, you Google it, you will see what you actually said.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You are on record to have said that the NDC and NPP have goofed economically. Will you remember that one?
No, sir. I don't think I've said that. Maybe it's taken out of context.
Earlier you said that the one district, one factory created tens of thousands of jobs. Can you tell us the source of your data?
From Trade and Industry, the ministry that plays a lead role in the management and supervision of the said policy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So is it from a document from the ministry or a publication on their website or an official statement issued by a responsible personality from the ministry? Title of that the document so that I can make reference. I can look for it and make reference myself.
Mr. Chairman, I cannot quote all, but I saw one D, one F on it.
I want to find out from you. Can you mention only 5 items that are produced under the 1D1F as a result, where we are able to not import that item and making it, or we export more of that item? Can you mention only 5?
Honorable Leader,
I know.
Honorable Leader, he answered that question. So
his answer was that, you see, it's about import substitution. My view is that under the 1D1F, not a single product produced today has given us an advantage where we don't import a particular item. There's none. So I was hoping you could mention that. Yes, I was hoping that you could say that because of the, in fact, and I saw you talked about what do you call it?
Perfectly true, but I think remarkably, look at the things here. At least we don't import virgin coconut oil. Not that I know. I could be wrong. We've done a lot of them. We still import some because we have not been able to locally produce to meet domestic demand. But we'll get there one day. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
May her soul rest in peace. Used to produce coconut oil at home all the time. In fact, palm oil and everything. So I don't remember ever consuming imported coconut oil. So I'm not sure why this one is your strong point for you to raise. In fact, I lived in London and we used to palm nuts and everything exported to UK. So the point is, has 1D1F made any impact, which is remarkable? That is the point I'm trying to get from.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
When is that?
We export akumfi juice outside to Cameroon and other places. And then so we've been doing that.
Is it the first time Ghana has exported fruit or fruit juices?
Chairman, I really don't know.
I can tell you that is not the first time.
Thank you, sir.
Blue Skies have been exporting fruit products before the advent of 1D1F.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
My last question. Just like many other companies, including one company set up by Honorable Senyo Hossi, existed before 1D1F. I've seen a warehouse in Tema, only refurbished and called 1D1F, an existing warehouse. So I know what I'm talking about. Honorable Stephen Amoah.
Yes, sir.
My final question to you is this. I believe your substantive minister was, well, if he gets the two have any special qualities meriting your appointment to that ministry, that Ghanaians should be assured that there will be an improved situation in terms of trade, our trade relationships, just because the two of you have been appointed. I'm not saying the previous minister and the deputies did not perform. I'm asking what the two of you's appointment would do differently if you get the approval.
And continue the good works that had been started by our predecessor.
Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Nominee, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
You said you will serve him as a deputy minister if approved, and if he himself is also approved. Let me refer you to your CV to start with. Core objectives. Relevant stakeholders to achieve strategic outcomes. So you will seek competitive. I hope you will not be competing with your minister, if approved.
No, sir, Chairman.
I hope you will not be challenging your minister, if approved.
No, Chairman.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Stephen Amoah.
Yes, sir.
Your job, if approved, will be a deputy minister responsible for trade and industry. Ghanaian traders are currently complaining of the fact that some of them had to borrow, or the lending rate is about 47% from a bank. If approved, what will you do differently to assist government to bring the lending rate down?
Mr. Chairman, I think it is within probably collaborating with Finance Ministry. I think it is their responsibility to do that. And anything that my minister will want me to do to help in that capacity, if it's within our jurisdiction, Mr. Chairman, I'll do that. Thank you.
Honorable Stephen Amoah, the concern of most traders has to do with the stability of our Ghanaian currency, the Citi. You agree with me that in the last 2 months, from January to date, our currency has depreciated approximately 24% in the last 2 months. As a minister responsible for trade, or a deputy minister responsible for trade and industry, what will you do differently to assist the government in stabilizing our currency?
Mr. Chairman, can you repeat your question?
To assist as a minister, as a deputy minister responsible for trade and industry.
If anything of what my respectable Dr. Amoah is saying comes on board and my minister assigns me to, I'll do my best to contribute to that effect. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have any ideas that you can suggest to your minister, if called upon?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Can you tell us the ideas you have you can bring on board?
Mr. Chairman, if I'm giving the approval, I will definitely do that if I have.
As a nominee, can you convince me with those arrangements that or ideas you have so that that can encourage me to support you or not to support you?
Mr. Speaker, Dr. Atuforsen is like a brother from different people. See him in chambers and probably ask more from him, and I'll submit to my minister, who I know operates open culture system, and if it will be good for the country, my minister will do that. Thank you, Mr.
What about similarities between you and him?
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Chairman, talking about haircut. Are you aware that our government has started giving ordinary pensioners haircut?
Mr. Chairman, I really don't know what my honorable member is talking about. What I know is that there is a voluntary roll out of a new Greece, UK, whenever there is holdout all over the world, that is the inevitable policy, not forcing them on bondholders. That is all that I know. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Stephen Amoah, can you explain to this committee what the government is seeking to do to reduce our debt to GDP from the 103% to 50%?
One of such, Dr. Extending maturities of our bonds and also replacing them with new ones. Secondly, the government is cutting down greatly the in our budget we have national budget, cutting emoluments by 30%, reducing fuel by 50%, government not actually initiating non-critical projects in our country. So you realize that the government of the day is doing everything possible within its capability to consolidate our fiscal space by cutting down costs. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are you aware that this morning Fitch had to downgrade Ghana from D to restrictive default because Ghana government failed to pay debt that they have contracted, interest amounting to $46 million. Are you aware of that?
Chairman, I'm not aware, sorry.
Thank you very much.
Honorable for letting me know.
Naturally, please, without the consent of...
Don't respond to him.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Stephen Amoah.
Yes, Doctor.
If your country defaults in the payment of servicing debt, it shows your country is bankrupt or insolvent. And when the country is in that position, what do you think can the country do immediately to deal with that situation? Immediately to deal with that situation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think talking about Ghana being insolvent, that I don't know. What I know is that our interest payment has gone up. And here I've explained that between 2012 and 2016, it started going up. In 2018, then it started going up again. But the most developed are moving, GDPs are moving beyond 100. Talk of UK, US, and co. So this is a global issue. But what you need to do as a government is to harmonize the fiscal space variables or parameters. And one of them is to cut down cost, expenditure. One of them is to increase domestic revenue generation. To make sure that you rather consolidate the space by not attracting more debt. That's all that I can say. And I think this government is perfectly doing what I'm talking about. Okay. And it's a process and we'll get there.
Or fiscal measures. At the same time, expenditure is going up by 82 billion Ghana cedis. Can you agree with me that the government even though they are increasing taxes or increasing revenue through the introduction of taxes, needs to cut down on expenditure, since expenditure has gone up by 82 billion Ghana cedis?
I agree with you, sir. Chairman, thank you.
So will you sacrifice your salary to reduce that expenditure, if I'm asked upon?
Chairman, I think I said something here. My knowledgeable doctor on the corridor, he says, brother, let's cut and
the appointment of the president as a contribution to Ghana's current problem.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not a lawyer, but I know that Article 78 mandates the president with approval of the parliament to do as such. I don't think if I'm asked to serve this country, I'll deny the good people of Inshiayeso and this country by doing that. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, since the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance is just about to enter, I will hold on to my questions, and when he comes, I'll be able to.
Honorable Stephen Amoah,
Chairman,
I noticed that you have brought all the people who matter in Ashanti region, and some of the very old seniors, those I was constituency chairman with. Some of them they have failed. Tell me. Sorry, in Inshiayeso constituency.
Chairman, thank you very much. Per the mandate of the industry will benefit tremendously. Thank you, Chair.
Chairman Jokad, I wanted you to hear him. Now you have heard him. He says if any opportunity comes, you benefit. So I wanted you to. I won't say that Maslow taxes, a lot of them went to that constituency. I won't say that. Right. Honorable Stephen Amoah, we thank you for attending upon the House. We ignore Neil and Tivandapoy. We thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. I'll discharge you, but no, he won't say anything more. I will not give him the floor for anything more. I want to thank you for attending upon the House. I want to thank all those who came to support him. There are some I can see, there are some I cannot recognize by face. But all of you who came from the constituency and from the region to support Honorable Stephen Amoah. I see a very well-dressed Nana behind him, but I couldn't identify who. Nana, you're welcome. And is that the Adedokua? Very well. Okay. Go board chair. I've already thank all of you, all the executives who came to support Honorable Stephen Amoah. You're discharged now. Thank you.
Chairman, thank you very much. God bless you. And I thank my colleagues from both political divide. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Quite an interesting session there. Stephen Amoah, Member of Parliament for Ishiayeso, and of course, Minister Designate, or Deputy Minister Designate rather, for the Trade and Industry Ministry. He spent quite few or less time than Obi Amoah, that's Osebuzu Amoah, who's been nominated as Minister of State and the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development. It's as though committee members under the leadership of Joseph Osebuzu a person of deputy such as the one district, one factory will dominate the questions that will come up, and also his previous role having served as chief executive of Maslog, issues from his time or his period at Maslog were expected to come up, and indeed it did come up. We have another, that is Mohammed Amin Adam, Deputy Minister for Energy, who has now been nominated as a Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. He, when approved, is to replace Charles Dubois, who sometime back was fired by the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And so we'll be bringing you that live coverage of the vetting of Mohammed Amin Adam, who's been nominated by the President as Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. This is still Citi TV. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Stay with us. Right here on this channel.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Class Act is proudly sponsored by Vodafone Ghana Foundation as part of the Kindred Partners. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and